Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about some measurements of angles. One of the most common ways we measure angles is with degree. Degrees are 1/360th of a full circle. And what you can see here, we have a protractor. A protractor represents usually a half circle. And as you can see on ours, we have 180 degrees. But when we get more complicated and especially when we deal with longer distances like naval navigation or astronomy, a degree isn't as precise as we'd like it to be. We could, if we're traveling a huge distance, if we're off by half of a degree, we can really miss the mark. So what we have are some smaller measurements within degrees. So if a degree is 1/360th of a circle, so a degree is 1/360 of a full circle. It gives us a way to measure an angle. Within those degrees, we actually have some smaller measurements. So I'm going to zoom way in on just a single degree here. And what you can see is that this degree has been marked up. We can see that there are 60 little tick marks here. When we break up a degree, we can break it into minutes. And what we know about minutes, and we can use, kind of our timekeeping analogy to keep this straight, a minute is 1/60th of a degree. This gives us a way to be a little bit more precise with our measurements. So if we say we were at, we had 45 degrees, and we were somewhere between 45 and 46 degrees, if I wanted to go halfway between those 2 points, I could, instead of writing as a decimal, I could write it as 45 degrees and 30 minutes. I know that if there are 60 minutes in a degree, then there are 30 minutes in half of a degree. And you can see there we use the almost like a quotation or an apostrophe there to denote minutes. But when we look at even further distances, if we're talking about, looking at a telescope from Earth to Mars, or from, Earth to, even further out, extremely long distances, even this, 1/60th of a degree may not be as precise as we want it to be. So what we have is we have an even smaller measurement. So within each minute, we can zoom in again, and we can see within a minute, there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And again, that time analogy makes sense. We're using that kind of base 60 counting here. So a second, equals 1/60th of a minute, and 1/3600 of a degree. So what this allows us to do, it allows us to be even more precise, right? So if we use that analogy from earlier where we had 45 degrees and 30 minutes, let's say I want it to be even more precise. And let's say between the 30 and 31st minute, we were, say, a quarter of the way there, right? 1/4 of 60 would be 15. So we would say that would be 15 seconds. And again, you can see we use, a double quotation mark or a double apostrophe there to denote seconds. So what is a degree? We're going to start small and zoom way back out. A second is what we'll use as the smallest measurement of an angle. It is 1/3600th of a degree, which is itself 1/360th of a full circle. Those 60 seconds make up a minute, and within a degree, we have 60 minutes in 1 degree. If we zoom out one more time, we can see that this image here is just 1 degree that we'll see as part of a larger whole, right? This is just a half circle, and we can see that that single degree that we saw is 1/360th of that full circle.